Well, welcome back to the journey. Today we have the results of the previous video where I was doing the 3 fun garden projects. So we have the potato chitting. I've got 1 bag with the onion, 1 bag without, and we'll see which one did the best. We have the root viewer, which I also added worms in there, had some fun time lapses, and then the bug catching kit. For that one, I tried raising the woolly bear, trying to get it to turn into a leopard spotted moth, which would have been really cool, but it didn't survive. So I'll keep an eye out for other kind of bugs to experiment with and to learn more about in the garden. Okay, so we'll start with the bug kit here. With this one, this was just going through, looking at all the different parts and pieces that were in there, having some fun with it. I did capture a woolly bear. It was in there. I was feeding it, but unfortunately it didn't survive. So we'll keep playing with the bug kit. We'll find some interesting things out in the garden. All right, so the root viewer, you can see the plants have grown a lot, especially in the last few days. I did a time lapse, a short and a long form. Those are really fun to watch. I had fun making those, putting those to music, and just nice relaxing experience watching the worms just move around. And I was surprised at how much you actually see the plants moving around. That was really cool, unexpected from doing such a long time lapse. I think some of the movement was from the worms kind of budging, hitting the apple and the tomato that were on the surface. Right now I have some more apple that's in there and just been adding a little bit for the worms to have something to eat. But I'm going to do a time lapse to show you current activity, and we'll just include that in this video. All right, so that leaves us with the potatoes. So let's see how our experiment went. I think I mentioned putting wet potatoes into a paper bag. It mostly survived, but yeah, the bottom fell out of one of these. All right, so let's see. All right, so let's do a comparison here. So we had 8 potatoes in each side. So I'll just get those out of the bag, and then we'll kind of do a little comparison to see how the chitting went, see how they're sprouting from their eyes. All right, so this is the no onion bag. And then we have 8 on this side. Yeah, you can see some sprouts going there. All right, so yeah, this is our onion side. So we'll leave that here so we have the comparison. I should have done another one of those magic snaps. Proof of my farmer skills. I can do the magic snap. All right. Okay, so now we have all of our potatoes out here. We have the onion side and the no onion side. So we'll start with the no onion side. I think this is where I'm gonna do the snap. So I'm gonna test my farmer magic here. I'm going to snap my fingers and all of these will be unwrapped so we can do the comparison. Ready? Farmer magic. And just like that, we have our potatoes. So it looks like we don't really have a clear winner. The onion side did produce sprouts, but it looks like the no onion side is about even. Some of that may be due to the experimenter not having all the variables and maybe not doing something perfectly right. I was watering the paper towels about every other day just to keep those moist and to keep them sprouting, you know, because you want to have that partially lit, not direct sunlight. You want to have them to where they're staying wet and you want to keep them warm. So all the things that you would normally do to keep a potato from producing sprouts, we were trying to get them to sprout this time. So good results. I'm very happy with this for my seed potatoes now. So the next step is we need to cut each of these potatoes into parts to put into our planter. I'm going to be working on that later today, and I'll probably make a video for that as well, just because it's going to be a fun process. So keep an eye out for that video. But we need at least 2 eyes, and you want enough of the potatoes so that they have their nutrients while they're getting started. And you don't really have to chit your potatoes. You can just put your potatoes into the ground. You want to harden them off so they don't get the root rot and have bugs eating them, that kind of thing, until they really get going. But this does save you a couple of weeks. So even though we took a couple of weeks to get them to sprout, we're going to make that up once it's in the ground because they're already started, and it's just planting them so that they have their best chance to grow. All right, so now we're ready to cut our potatoes so that we have them hardened off to go into the potato planter. So we're gonna do a little bit of farmer magic again, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up for us. All right, ready? And our seed potatoes are ready. This is awesome. I'm loving the farmer magic. Okay, so we have a tray full of potatoes now that are gonna be ready in a couple days to put into the ground. You need at least 24 to 48 hours. We're gonna give them a chance to kind of sit out. And I'm gonna flip these over so this part is exposed. I just wanted to show all the eyes and all the sprouts. I think that just looks amazing. That's the result of the experiment, is just being able to see all these cool seed potatoes. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this 24 to 48 hours, let that harden off, and then these will be ready to go into the ground. What I'm gonna be doing this year is kind of an Amish method, to where I'm using a 2x3 wire cage around it, and then I'm gonna be putting layers of straw and compost down, and then putting the seed potatoes in there, and then as they grow, you add more straw, more compost, so that you get several layers within the potato bin. So at the end of the season, tip that over and it's just full of hundreds of pounds of potatoes, hopefully, or at least dozens. We'll see how it goes. This is my first attempt, but I think I'm gonna have more than they had last year. Last year I just used a couple of cardboard boxes and used a similar type of approach, but just adding compost as the plant grew up. All right, so we got to see the results of our 3 fun garden projects today. We had our bug catching kit, which I'm gonna keep catching bugs and having fun with that, learning all about the bugs in the garden. And we have our root and worm viewer here, and hopefully we'll be able to see the root vegetables growing soon. Right now it's just little spindly roots growing through there and the worms crawling around, trying to keep food in there for them to eat, and just having a fun time watching them wiggle around. I have this sitting in my office, so I get to watch it all day. It's really fun. All right, and then all the seed potatoes, ready to get those into a bin this weekend and have some potatoes growing. I'm so excited about my potatoes. It was like waiting for a present to be opened last year. I had them in cardboard boxes, and I had pretty good results for the first attempt, but I think this year is gonna be even better. So stay tuned for more. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll add the link in for the potato bin once I have that ready. For now, just watch whatever YouTube thinks is the best, and the playlist for more gardening together. All right, there's many more fun garden projects in store, so thank you for joining me for this journey. See you next time.